Welcome back to Grand Structures. For more than a century, one of the most important grand structures on Earth hasn't been a building. It's been a shortcut, the Panama Canal. An 82-kilometer miracle of engineering that became the beating heart of world trade. It's also one of the planet's most critical bottlenecks. When it fails, the world stops. In 2023, one of the worst droughts in history dried up its vital lakes, forcing operators to slash the number of ships, creating a multi-billion-dollar traffic jam. The world was once again reminded that our entire global economy is dependent on this single, aging, vulnerable waterway. And that is when Mexico made its move. In the south of Mexico, engineers are in a race to build something that shouldn't be possible. Not because of geology, but because of geopolitics. They are building a $5 billion land bridge designed to do the unthinkable, to challenge the Panama Canal's 110-year monopoly. This is the Interoceanic Corridor, a 1,000-kilometer network of high-speed rail, brand-new highways, and two massive deep-water ports, all designed to move cargo from the Pacific to the Atlantic in under 6 hours. It's a project that died a century ago, now resurrected to rewrite the rules of global trade. This isn't just a railway. It's a shot fired in a new war for global shipping. To understand this new grand structure, you have to know that it is, in fact, a ghost. The idea isn't new. In the late 1800s, before the Panama Canal, Mexico had this exact same dream. The Isthmus of Tehuantepec is the narrowest part of the country, a 200-kilometer land bridge. President Porfirio Diaz dreamed of connecting the two oceans. And in 1907, he did it. Mexico built the Tehuantepec Railway. For 7 glorious years, it was a massive success. It was the center of world trade. Ships from New York and Europe would offload their cargo, which was hauled by steam train to the other side and loaded onto ships bound for Asia. It was the original intermodal corridor. Then, in 1914, the Panama Canal opened. It was a technological marvel, a water bridge that let ships pass through without unloading. It was cheaper and more efficient. In a single year, traffic on Mexico's railway collapsed by 80%. The dream died. For over 100 years, the railway became a relic, a rusting line of steel overtaken by jungle and silence. Until now. In 2018, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador revived the vision, but on a grand structure scale. This isn't a restoration, it's a reinvention. The new Interoceanic Corridor, or CIIT, is a $5 billion bet that the 21st century's problems require a 21st century solution. Here is how this grand structure is designed to defeat the canal. The Panama Canal's weakness is water and time. It relies on freshwater reservoirs to operate its locks, the very thing that disappeared in the 2023 drought. It's also slow. A ship can wait for days and take 8 to 10 hours to pass through. The CIIT is a land bridge. It is immune to drought, and it is built for speed. The plan? A ship that's too big for the Panama Canal, or one that wants to skip the queue, docks at one of the two brand-new deep-water ports. Its cargo is unloaded, put on a dedicated freight train, and rocketed across the 200-kilometer isthmus to the other side in just 6 hours. It offers a shortcut that could save days at sea and millions in fuel costs. This isn't just one railway. The project includes upgrading over 1,000 kilometers of track, building parallel highways, and creating 10 new industrial parks along the route. The goal is to create a 200-kilometer-long factory. an industrial belt across southern Mexico, attracting $50 billion in private investment and creating 500,000 jobs in the nation's poorest regions. But this grand structure is battling more than just history. The construction, which began in 2020, was a brutal race against time. Crews tore up old tracks, cleared dense vegetation, and laid new steel through mountains and jungles. But one section of the old vital railway was privately owned, and the company refused to sell, threatening to stall the entire project. This is where the impossible part comes in. The Mexican government made a shocking move. In 2023, they sent in the army to seize control of the railway. Critics called it an extreme authoritarian move. The government called it a non-negotiable act of national commitment. The message was clear. This grand structure will not be allowed to fail. The second challenge is convincing the world. Global trade is ruthless, but it's also a creature of habit. Shipping giants have spent 110 years building their entire logistics networks around the Panama Canal. You're not just asking them to change their route, you're asking them to change their minds. To trust that this new system, with its two-port, two-crane, one-rail journey, will actually be faster and cheaper than the one-and-done water bridge in Panama. Then, in December 2023, Mexico pulled a surprise twist. The first trains to run on the new line were not cargo trains. They were passenger trains. This was a brilliant move. What began as a purely industrial project was suddenly reframed as a cultural renaissance. This sleek, modern train now carries travelers from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean in just a few hours. It's a journey through the raw, beautiful heart of Mexico, connecting jungles, mountains, and communities that felt forgotten by time. The new stations are attracting hotels, businesses, and tourists. The CIIT is no longer just a shortcut for boxes. It's a grand structure connecting not just two oceans, but its own people. So, is the Panama Canal finished? Not at all. Officially, Mexico says the CIIT is a complement, not a replacement, a pressure valve for when the canal is congested or in drought. But in the ruthless world of global trade, if a faster, cheaper, more reliable option exists, shippers will take it. For over 110 years, the Panama Canal has stood alone, a grand structure of water and locks. Today, for the first time, it has a true rival. A grand structure of steel, concrete, and fiber optics. A land bridge, powered by trains and a nation's iron will to reclaim its place at the center of the world. What do you think? Can a land bridge truly compete with the mighty Panama Canal, or is this a $5 billion gamble that won't pay off? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this look at the high-stakes world of geopolitical engineering, be sure to subscribe to Grand Structures. Thanks for watching.